Dum, 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 dum. So there are so many things I want to say. Like things are moving around. I am frustrated beyond words. It has nothing to do with the state of affairs of the world, although that would give me indigestion on its own. I'm going to explain. Yeah, I have not done more show prep for a show in years than I did for tonight. I just absolutely locked this thing down, spent some time trying to give you the proper instruction in how to respond to a trained broadcast professionals that I can. And then I screwed it all up. So obviously, I'm not nearly as talented as I hoped I was. But the Google Chrome just crashed right before we got here. And what that means for you guys is that I didn't have nothing prepared. Everything that was just thrown out the window because it all went sideways. I'm hooking it up right now. All right, I seem to have the sheets up, but my notes are gone. I wanted to see what you guys were talking about in here. I wanted to look at you guys. So I got to open up another window, try to make it again. I wanted to have a comment section. I wanted to read that, but I couldn't because the whole damn thing came crashing down. Let me see if I can open it up one more time. We're going to get to what's going on with my computer too. In just un momento, por favor. Let's turn the volume down. Now we're going to get some huge feedback there. All right, so you get there. There's my ugly mug coming up in there. Oh, look at that. The pop-out screen for chat is to pop out, and then it's in, then it's down, and then it's gone. Okay, all right. So, yeah. All right, so Chrome is back as long as I only keep one tab open. Facebook Personal did not load. It timed out tonight, and that's because of the condition of my computer. Can you call a Mac a computer? Aren't they both computers? Just one's a Mac and one's a PC, but they're both computers. I know people hate that. Like, no. Mac is an Apple, is a Mac is an Apple, and a PC is a computer. Yeah, don't they both compute? Don't they both compute things? Then they're computers, are they not? Yeah, all right. So anyway. All right. I know they're not the same thing. Jeffrey Montgomery, I know there's a church and state, but they both compute. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, for my dumb mechanic in the middle of the woods thing going on here, because I'm not in the desert tonight, I'm in the backwoods. I'm in the woodshed right now. That's why I'm a dumb mechanic in the middle of the woods, because I'm in the woodshed myself with my wife. Apparently I'm in trouble with her because she went out to get her hair done today, which she did, and she borrowed my truck. I let her borrow my truck. She goes to get her hair done. She stopped by and got herself some lunch, and then she ran a couple errands, and then she came back, and she was sick. She had a massive headache. She was sick to her stomach. She went and crashed out for about 2 or 3 hours, and she was still upset and still sick and still not feeling well, and apparently it's my fault. Apparently I have done something to allow her to get sick, and therefore she's yelling at me. I'm the one in trouble, and I am banished to the woodshed because she got sick. Chicks, man. Chicks. Anyway, okay, so where to even begin? I literally have enough stuff to go 3 hours tonight. I'm not kidding. That's how much effort I put into today. So the first problem is I want you guys to know that any donations you see fit to give to the Singapore Hooker Fund, to Buford the Goat Restoration monument that we aren't really going to build. I just made that up in my head right now. Or anything that has to do with Gen X mom getting her nails done, I'm stealing all of it. I need a Mac. Yeah, my Mac computer. I bought it. I bought this brand new, and I got, the one I like, 27-inch screen, and I got all the stuff that goes along with it, and it got a big one. It did a lot of stuff, a lot of things, and I got it at the beginning of Gen X Talks. That was over 3 years ago, and it's maxed out. Not you guys, computer guys, are going to go, yeah, okay, so what you're saying there is you need some external hard drives, and that's all you need. Get some external hard drives. It's not like that. And if there's something to be done with external hard drives that I can't figure out, I've got 16 terabytes of external hard drives, and they got plenty of room. But on the Mac itself, there's no more physical memory that I can use, because just with the apps that are on here and the updates and the software that I need to run the stuff I'm doing with editing and all that, it's maxed out. It shuts off. Programs quit working, they won't load, and it's the Mac is beautiful. It's very well put together, very well maintained. We haven't let it get dirty. We haven't thrown it in the pool too many times. It's fine. We even make sure we cover it when the sprinklers are on. That's important. It's in the guidebook. But it's bad. It's really bad. And Let's see. Rumble didn't go on either. Rumble, it said Rumble was going there. Got a message from staff. Rumble, god damn it. It said Rumble was up and moving, but I can't ever tell until you guys check it for me. It's my computer. It's the Mac. It's just kind of done. And now Trippy has offered to build a PC. I have never had a PC that looked this clear. This screen, the way this Mac looks, we've put it. My son goes, Gen Z kid. Briggs will say, Dad, it's just you. There's monitors out there that are way clearer than any Mac screen is ever going to be. And if you're not, then you just got the wrong cable, you got the wrong settings, you got the wrong something. So he went out and he bought several monitors over the past few years, and he's put them on PCs that he has bought. He's put on a PC that his brother has built, which is just a gaming computer. He's put them side by side. He's put the monitors right next to my Mac. He goes, wow, Dad, you're right. They're not quite as clear. And they're not. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure how it came to be. But even my son, who's a hardcore, he's an anti-Mac, hardcore PC guy, he looks and goes, you're right. No matter what money he spends, what cables, what configuration, what ports he uses, never quite comes out like this. So we're at a dilemma because Mac doesn't even build the 27-inch Mac anymore. Now, what I did find out is they have a rather expensive gaming type of hub that you could, not gaming hub, creative hub that has all the editing and everything and has a lot of ports on it, a lot of have-yous about what the job that I do here, but it doesn't have as much as what Trippy would make. Now, Trippy builds one. I also found Mac makes a 27-inch monitor. They make this monitor, but with no software inside of it, no hardware inside of it, nothing. It just is a monitor. So maybe Trippy could build a computer. I could go get that monitor, and then I could put it up here. Either way, it's a ton of cash that I can't be spending right now. So I'm literally going to everything you guys do on PayPal, and I didn't see a PayPal link tonight, which is unfortunate because my wife is still sick, and she's the one who puts up the PayPal link, and I don't even see the PayPal link. I'm scrolling back. I'm gonna type everyone's dubage tonight. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna have to get there because I'm gonna have to swipe it. Oh, there's one. Trippy put up the PayPal. Well, he put them all up there, didn't he? All right, the PayPal link is at the top. I don't have a way to respond to the PayPal link unless my wife is laying in bed up there and she's listening. She can have the PayPal link and she can chime in if she wants to. But just so you guys know, that's what happened. The computer, I have cleaned and stripped everything out of it you can. I have gotten rid of everything I can possibly get rid of. I have started things over. I've stripped stuff down, and it's still just maxed out. Some stuff won't even update because there's not enough room to update it. So we lost Facebook Personal tonight. We lost Rumble. I got one video edited today, which was I was trying to put together the podcast. You guys seem to like the video version of the podcast. I got that done barely. It took 17 times as long for it to render and then 17 times as long for it to post. It's a mess. I'm in a bad spot because we rely so heavily on this piece of equipment, which they don't even make this piece of equipment anymore. And even if Trippy was going to build me something, even if I could afford it, how long would it take? How long would it take to get all the pieces to Trippy's house and then him build it and then get it up here and hopefully it works? And if it doesn't, then I'm going to call Trippy and get him up here. I mean, this is a tough spot for Gen X Talks to be in because we're going to definitely have some downtime. And even if I can strip everything off of it and go live, then I just stripped everything off of it that does the podcast. I stripped everything off of it that does the short videos that I edit for the kid, the 2-minute drills. Those are all gone. The video podcast, the interviews, all done on this. So it's a bad thing. We're not going to lose any data. I got everything saved, backed up in triplicate, but we're in a tough spot because I would have just tried to run down to Best Buy and gone, give me another one, give me a new one, and they don't make them anymore. Now, they do have some refurbished ones, but the problem is if I can get this exact one refurbished with a warranty, a guarantee, and everything, but if it has the exact same amount of hard drive space as this one, who cares? It'll get cluttered up with the same apps and the same programs just the way this one did. So I'm in a tough spot, and you guys are seeing the chinks in the armor today. I don't mean for it to be the case, but it is. So anyway, just so you guys know, there's a lot of stuff going on already in the sheets. I am never going to get through this Trippy. You'd load me up, baby. All right, so let me try to blow through the sheets right here. For those of you who don't know, there's a monitor to my left, your right, And Trippy Pineapple and some others are taking things from abroad, comments that you are seeing on Facebook, comments that you're seeing on YouTube. If they're important, if they're funny, if they're clever, if you're angry, perhaps, they're putting that over here for me to read. Let me read some of them right now, please and thank you. All right. Scott Ahern's been for 6 months. Gen X Mom, could you ask the general about the Chinese invasion through the border? Yeah, I've been doing homework on that. I know it's an issue like you do, Scott. And we're going to save that one for the World Show because I got some stuff on that. Birthday, firewood art or firewoo dart? It says firewood art or firewoo dart. 56 laps around the sun. Firewood, thanks for joining us. Jennifer Whitehead, I'm for 6 months. I am ready to hear what our fearless, handsome general has in store for tonight. Well, when Jennifer calls me handsome, well, now I'm ready for the show. I can settle back in my chair a little bit and handsome. That's one handsomes. When we get to 4 handsomes, then we can begin. You guys know the rule. Standing to hydrate before I get yelled at. All right, we'll keep that going tonight. Can't get drunk tonight. I have a firm rule that when my wife is not well, I don't drink at all. Because no matter what, I would never want to get tipsy when she's not feeling good. I have to be able to take care of her. So that's why I'm not drinking Jack Daniels tonight. Vern Ulrich, member for 14 months. He's an extra. Thanks for sticking around for that long. Vern, loud one, $10 driving home from Baltimore in my truck. Bus is in tow if you're not on board. Yeah, I'm not stopping. Anybody who's not on the bus right now, we're leaving you at the station. We're heading out. The doors have closed. The bus is spewing out big black balls of smoke, and away we go. All right. So it looks like there's memberships, but no one wrote who gave the memberships. I'm going to assume that it's Mrs. Four. And Peter Fernandez and Jonathan Douglas, Richard Frank, Gary Atkinson, and Tori Randolph all got memberships. It doesn't say from who. I'm assuming from Mrs. Four Watton. She's lovely. She's classy. She's ever present. She is in the deck of cards. Yes, she is. She made the deck. Sweets, member for 1 year. Hello, handsome and sexy Mama X. No sexy Mama X. Just the handsome. Sweets, thank you very much. That's 2 handsomes. Scott Royston, member for 2 months. Hey, handsome general. There's 3, baby. John Purvis, good evening, and my king general. Oh, I get what you're saying. John's over on Facebook Blue. Surprisingly, John did not make the cards. I don't think John sent in a picture of himself. He's not on the Gen X Talks deck of cards. We took a bunch of pictures from you guys. We're going to get into that in a minute. And what we did was we took a bunch of pictures. We cartooned your faces, so they are your likeness, but not exactly. They're close. Put them on a deck of cards, and they turned out great. A lot better than we thought. Thanks to Sammy Joe for all the help on that. Could not have done that without her. Shannon Brigodes over on Facebook Blue. To all my peeps in Facebook today, for some reason, I can't comment on YouTube. I don't know if that's my fault or on your end, Shannon. I wish I knew. John Morgan, so you're saying your Mac has become a Biden. Oh, my God. John, you couldn't let it go, could you? You just waited for that little knife and you got to. All right, buddy. I see what you're saying there. I take it personal with that stuff right there, buddy. You can make fun of my president, but don't you dare make fun of my Mac. All right. Scott Royston. Here's the gentleman for just being handsome. Love you, my man. Stay handsome. Thank you, Scott. Another $10. Turn my whole screen yellow. Orin Alterus. It's also what video editing format you use. AVI uses tons of storage. I don't think I use AVI. I think we're using MP4. I have been editing for years and have fully loaded 2 terabyte drive. I have never fully loaded a 2 terabyte drive in all my years. No, I'm okay with the terabyte storage, external storage, but all of the apps I've got on here are maxed out. I don't have a 2 terabyte hard drive built into the Mac for apps and updates, and I've maxed out, with GarageBand and all the Adobe products we use and some of the other players and editing things that we've got. It's maxed out, and I can't fix it. Mrs. Four Watton gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships. Omni Alteris, Tina V, Chris Quillman, Jesse Fullerton, and Robert Malice. Thank you very much, Mrs. Four. Again, all of you now that are members can peek behind the curtain, go to the community section after the show's over, and check out 3 years of behind-the-scenes stuff. If you're on Facebook Blue, you're looking for a Facebook page called The General's Lunchbox. Same stuff over there. All right, Werewolf 2004. Who was the other gifted membership? 2004 was the other who gifted. Oh, Werewolf gifted the other memberships. Well, guess what, Trippy? Trippy Dippy Pineapple filling in for Gen X Mom didn't tell me who it was. Now I have to go back and apologize to Werewolf 2004 and remind everyone that Werewolf 2004 gifted the previous 5 memberships, not Mrs. Four Watton. There's a lot of fours and Wattons and werewolves going on around there, and I'm losing my cool. Relax, man. It's just a computer. Or is it? I don't know. I'm a little upset today. If you can't see, I'm a little befuddled, but we have so much stuff to talk about. So yeah, we get past my woes of the day and let's get into some stuff that matters. I want to talk about KGXT radio real quick. May I do that? Thank you. And what I want to say is that you guys know we have a new station manager out there, and his name is Josh Maddox. Josh Maddox is the station manager for KGXTradio.com. Write that down, because it's still coming along, but now instead of having 12 songs that just replay, now we have hundreds, and Josh is responsible for getting those in there. We also play the national anthem at 12 noon every day. Gives you a chance to take off your hat and remember what country you live in. You're welcome, America. And we had 10 o'clock, yes, 10 o'clock on Thursday mornings, Los Angeles time. We let you in on the recording session. My wife and I do a podcast that drops every Friday. We record every Thursday, and we let you in on the recording session. We click the microphones live on KGXT radio, and then you guys get to listen in. That part is the uncensored, unfiltered, unscripted part. Yeah, I have to edit out quite a bit of what you guys hear on the radio, because you can't rewind it, you can't replay it, you only get to hear it once, and then everyone else gets to hear the edited version Friday morning. Yeah, so just remember that. Now, the thing I want to tell you is we also added a heavy metal hour. Yeah. So my friend from high school who lives back east now, he says, here's the songs you're going to put on your heavy metal hour. So I wanted to do an intro. I wanted my voice to go, hey, welcome to the heavy metal hour on KGXT radio. I was going to do something like that. And so I kind of recorded one, and I put a little music behind it. It was only like 10 seconds long. So I had a 10-second clip, and I played it for my friend back east. He goes, if you put Twisted Sister in the background of your intro, you are going to lose all credibility. You take that shit off of there right now. I said, what do you want me to use? So he sends me Judas Priest or something, breaking the law. He goes, this is what you're going to use. This is what you're going to put on there. I said, so I did that. Now I'm going to try to play it for you. I have the intro and the exit. You might have to turn up your volume a little bit to hear it. I don't know. I don't know how it plays on your end. One of the downfalls of having a Mac and using Streamlabs like we do is they have told me the Mac help section has said, we don't have a way for Mac to preview the audio. We have, I can set the volumes, but unless I'm listening through YouTube like you guys are, unless I'm listening through Facebook like you folks do, I can't tell how loud I am. I just have to go by the numbers, and I got to hope that it comes out right. I got to hope that it's close enough so you guys aren't going, it's too low, it's too high, it's too echoey. I don't know. There's no preview audio. So in this case, I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to play it, and you only get to play it once. It's 10 seconds long, so stop talking. Okay, here you go. Ready? Here's the intro. It's time for Mr. Bouchard's Heavy Metal Hour. Did you catch it? Did it play? Come on, somebody give me a little thumbs up or something. I can't tell if it played. You're going to have to tell me over here. You're going to have to put a thumbs up if that was loud enough. Gifted memberships. I'm waiting for something. Just a little thumbs up. There, Two Bear said he could hear it. It's too distorted. Polished Redneck. So was it distorted? I can't tell in here. Now, it sounds good on my end, like when I play it just on my phone or on the PC, or if I share it with somebody, it comes out just right. Might have been too loud in here if I have it up too high, but again, I can't tell unless I play it. Let me turn down the exit one. That was the intro. Let me play the exit. You guys ready? Just want you to hear it, man. I'm pretty proud of this. Just let's try the exit. That's it. The Metal Hour is over. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. How'd you guys hear that one? Was that good? I can't tell. There. So Sandy said it sounds good. Two Bear says Pro Bowl ending very nice. There we go. All right. So That's what I came up with for the recording, for the intro and the exit. That'll be at the beginning of every hour. So every Thursday night at 10 o'clock, we're going to have a different hour of metal songs for you guys. That'll be the intro. That'll be the ending. Josh Maddox is working with me on that. It's a lot of work to get those things put together the way we do with the way the radio station is set. We can't just click on and go, oh, these 10 songs, play them in this order, start them at 10 o'clock. It'd be simple. No. It's very complicated. It's technical. So anyway, just want you guys to hear the intro and the exit. I'm proud of those things. I like them. All right. We're moving on from the patting myself on the back section of tonight's program. For those of you who didn't get any sort of a warning on Facebook or any sort of a warning on YouTube, then you need to join Patreon. I send out an email just says, hey, we're going on at 6 o'clock, and sometimes I tell you what we're talking about, sometimes not. But if you join Patreon, staff can put up the links on Facebook and YouTube. It's $1, but it's got all the behind-the-scenes stuff there, and you guys get stuff first. Just like the things that went up for sale that we almost sold out of, Patreon got it first. The members on Patreon got a notification, said if you want to go buy stuff, now's your chance, you're first in line. That's a benefit. For $1, that's a pretty huge benefit. All right. So the podcast that I was referring to, it dropped on Friday. The video version came out today on YouTube. You can check it out there. It's up on Spotify and Apple and Google Podcasts and a bunch of other ones, Amazon Music. But the staff can put up the link for that. It drops. We go live. You can listen to the live recording session at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. You get your own brand new copy of it at midnight, Friday at midnight, 12:02 a.m. And my wife just beats the hell out of me for about an hour. So here's something I was talking about with the cards. This is a lot of fun. We actually had you guys send in pictures of yourselves. We took them and we put your name on these cards. So we have a deck of 54 cards, 52 cards and 2 jokers. And everybody that got in on all the staff is in. And then, like, of course, Mama X, Gen X Mom, she's the queen of hearts. We had a little tribute to Bima. Those of you who remember Bima, she's on the Queen also. And Mrs. Four Watton is on a 4. Yeah, you get that? See, she's on a 4. So everybody, we kind of put your names where we thought they went best. And we got Dr. McDreamy's in there. Everybody got a card in there. But obviously, not everybody sent us pictures. We only had about 7 or 8. Couldn't fit everybody, of course. But we only had about 7 or 8 people that couldn't fit. It's not like all of you sent a picture in. You didn't. Don't act like, oh, well, how come you didn't use mine? Because you didn't send a picture and we told you to. We mentioned it a ton of times. You guys just skipped right over it. Now you feel bad because you're not in the deck of cards. These are funny. They are really cool. And I got another picture for you in here too. This with them fanned out like that. I'm on the bottom there, the general. Now, of course, I'm the king, baby. And then there's jokers, there's jacks. We tried to make them clever for what they went, but they're cartooned. They're really fun. And we're going to order more. However, we're also going to do a second deck of cards. And this is going to have some overlap. You're going to have all the staff on there, but different pictures of the staff. And then there's going to be some overlap. If we don't get 50 or so other people to send stuff in, then we'll have some overlap, some double cards. So if you want to send your picture in, send it to Sammy Joe at genxtalks.com. Sammy Joe at genxtalks.com. Staff can put it up in the links. If you want to be part of this, you have to send her your picture. You missed out last time because you didn't do it, and this was a whole lot of fun. And just like in always, we got one, the Sun Valley Fox. Kind of weird how the random computer just generated his on the Joker. But that's what they did. And so the Sun Valley Fox, my brother-in-law, he was cartoonized as one of the Jokers. I'm not telling you who the other one is. But everybody's in there, and it's a lot of fun to go through those things. They're on sale now. Two Bears probably already got you guys linked. If you want to buy a deck of these cards, we already sold out the first batch. The second batch is going to get sold out, and then that's it. So if you guys want one, go order one now. Go on to the Gen X Talks website, genxtalks.com. Look at the merchandise, scroll down, order a deck, because then that's it. You're done. Now, the second set of decks will come in. That'll be a different deck of cards. You can order one of those too, but then you're going to wish you had the first one and have the set, and you're not. I told you to turn your picture. You didn't do it. I'm telling you to buy the deck of cards. You're not going to do it. Then you're going to whine later on. All right, so no crying. There's no crying in baseball. Discord. Don't be loud with Discord, Dad. Okay. Discord is a bunch of chat rooms. You guys remember the old school chat rooms? Gen X Talks has a Discord server run by Trippy Dippy Pineapple and the Kid. It's a lot of fun, a lot of things to do, but every Monday they show a movie. Last week was Ace Ventura. This one's Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls. We all watch it together. It's free. You just go in there and log in and you're in. Sometimes there's 5 of us in there. Sometimes there's 50, but it's a lot of fun to hang out and watch the movie together. If you don't have something going on, you can hang out there with all of us. All of us have nothing going on. All right. So I want to talk about something. I want to change gears and slow down for a second. I'm just going to touch on this. And the reason I'm bringing it up now is because my sister-in-law, the Sun Valley Fox's wife, she doesn't always watch the world shows, and I'd like her to catch on to some of this. You guys may not have seen this. This was pretty important news. This is from CNN because, yes, I look at all the news channels. I try to get all the angles on stuff as much as I possibly can. So I clapped this one from them. That won't bitch at me anymore, that I don't include them. I'm being very inclusive. I'm including you guys. You see, this is me being inclusive. When I don't like somebody and I don't want someone around and I still include them, hence you should be happy and leave me alone. Quit writing me emails. All right. So Utah, now just to touch on this, Utah passed legislation, they signed it into law in January, that allows them sovereignty against federal government laws. That's the basics. Why did they come up with this? What made them do this? And how could you do this? You can't say, well, the federal government always imposes itself on states, do they not? To a point where we often think as citizens that's overreach. You don't have the right to do that. You can't do that. And you have to go to court, and they say, well, we're going to do it, and you can fight us in court. So you go through the federal courts and the Federal Court of Appeals, and you end up at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decides if the government is really overreaching, the federal government is overreaching, or if they're not. Now, in the current makeup of the Supreme Court, they're probably going to get slapped around quite a bit. If you notice, the Supreme Court lately has been knocking the federal government's dick in the dirt every chance it gets. Yay us. However, that won't always be the case. There will be times when liberals are running the Supreme Court and they will just make up any interpretation of the Constitution as they see fit. So the reason this is important is Utah comes along and says, listen, you can impose whatever laws you want, whatever rules you want. However, if it goes against the sovereignty of our state, we're not allowing you to do it, and we will not obey. Now, for everything we've learned about the 3 branches of government and how this all operates, how would that stick? How would they even be able to do that? And I'm going to tell you what I've read and learned so far. This accomplishes 2 things the way they've set it up. It's a dangerous precedence because there are going to be times when a conservative government wants to impose on blue states, on liberal states, and they'll have a way around it also. So I'm not so sure how happy I am about this, but I want to tell you guys the premise because I'm really, really intrigued by this. One, even federal law and state law runs up to, they can run up right to our front door saying stuff, and when we as citizens go, whoa, that's against our religious beliefs. That goes directly against my religious beliefs and values. A lot of the federal laws and the state laws stop, do they not? We've known that for years. That's just been a thing. It's like the government can push a lot of stuff on you, but there's quite a bit that stops at your doorstep if you have a religious conviction. This is kind of written in that genre. It's kind of worded that like, well, it doesn't say this, so don't quote me, but they bend things around like we are a sovereign, dedicated religious state, and there's just things you can't impose upon us anymore. The second thing that I see that it does is it doesn't allow the federal government to come in and say, well, we're going to do it anyway. You're going to have to go through all the court systems and years of trying to get us out of your back pocket, off of your land, and try to make us go away. No, it's the opposite. The way I'm reading this right now is it looks like if Utah says, well, yeah, we kind of have our own belief system over here, and it's our sovereignty. We pass laws, and we say, no, you can't do that. The federal government has to go prove they can. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to hold up, but if they stand their ground like Texas is, Texas is Texas is showing how boots on the ground and going like this really means people have to decide which position they're taking, which side they're on. Soldiers would have to fight soldiers. You know, National Guard soldier for the state, federal for the government. That all of a sudden, everybody seems to back off at that point because Texas stood their ground. However, what if this goes for Utah? What if Utah says, no, you're not going to come in here with your bulldozers and do this? Or you're not going to come in with your police cars and stop this? What if they physically take action similar to Texas? They've already passed the law. It's already written. They signed it in January. It is law in Utah. Now, for those of you reading up on it, there's many other facets to this. I'm focusing on one part. There's a lot of other things that go in there. So don't start with not only that, not only this, and I'm forgetting a lot of shit. I'm just concentrating on one aspect that really sounded important to me. I liked it. I liked the way it sounded very much. They're a sovereign state, and if you begin to overreach, they can tell the federal government, to stop. And the federal government has to make its case on why it can do it, not them. Now, if that holds true, that's huge. That is gigantic. The problem is that it begins to divide us as a country. You're going to end up with every state's going to do this. Every state would do this. And then there's going to be, there are going to be red states and blue states, and they're just going to go along with whatever government is in power, whatever political party's in power. And I said I wasn't going to go a long time. I'm not. I can go way deeper on this, but I want to stop right there and let you know, I don't see everyone talking about this. I don't understand why this, I don't know. They've had this on their books off and on for a long time, but they just sealed part of the deal this last January that makes such a difference. All right. Anyway, what was there? People can't hear you that well. Turn up the mic. I can turn up the mic. I don't know if it'll help me, but I can turn up the mic. Let's see. How's the thing looking in here? It's up pretty far, my man. Let's see. How about right there? That's about as far as I can go without getting people in trouble. All right, that's it. And if it, again, my computer's not doing its job anymore. All right, leave that on there. Can you turn up your mic? I did. Scott Royston gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships. Scott allows the Polish Redneck, Robin Brown, John Spartan, 118, 2 Live Moo, and the Urban Way. You guys all, thanks to Scott Royston, you guys can all take a peek behind the curtain when the show's over. Who else is in here? John Morgan, can you say the word that got Dr. Johnny Fever fired from his job on KGXT? Well, I don't know if that's a trick question, but Johnny Fever was never on KGXT. Johnny Fever was on WKRP in Cincinnati. Christina Dvorak gifted 5 Gen X Talks membership to Julie O'Malley. 17, I can't read, Empress, Night Clover, William Spade, and Jim Holmes. Jim Holmes is John Holmes, the littler brother, if you know what I mean. As a joke that I don't know why I'm telling you that. Justin Bennett, member for 7 months. Turned my whole screen green. I'm sure it's been asked and I missed it, but any ETA on the app for KGXT. I can't play from Chrome in the background on my phone, so I can't listen much. The app has run into a snag, but we're working it out. I don't have an ETA. I would love to tell you if we did. Scott Branch, we love you, Pops. You're a dying breed. I hope my son is half as decent as yours. Keep it up, brother. Thank you, Scott. Those are some words I needed to hear tonight. I truly did. John Morgan, maybe quiet right, bang your head in the background, maybe. Scott Aussie, member for 12 months, Legion of X, G'day and people. When he's salty Aussie, you know where he's from. He's from the same place that our bus driver's from. Stacy Cape, gifted 5 Gen X Talks membership. Boy, you guys are giving out memberships today like it's your job. I like it. Michael Alport, Joseph Lilabarte, Mentally Corrupted, Jason, Michelle, it looks like, and Chris. Yeah, just Chris. What name would you like to call yourself? Chris. No, you can make up anything you want. You could be a superhero. You could be you could make up a crazy name that doesn't even make sense. What do you want? This is your moment. Chris. Okay. Chris it is. Mrs. 4 Watt, another 5 memberships, not to be outdone. She gifted Midwest. God damn it. Hugh 8 Ask, Victoria Freeze, Leldon Coffee, and Christmas. Those are so hard to read. I'm not reading them anymore. Too small. Ed K, member for 1 year. All hail the handsome King General and banana sauce. Yeah, Ed, we were getting along so good until you said banana sauce. Now you're out. Christine Dvorak, $300. Hope you find the right computer. Love this family. You have no idea how much that's going to help, Christine. That's a big step in the right direction. I got to figure this out. I can't let Gen X Talks die on a vine and skip even 2 or 3 weeks while we figure this out. We got to do something immediately. Christina, thank you for doing that. Chris Wilson, member for 11 months. Breaking the law. See, he recognized I got rid of the Twisted Sister thing like I was instructed. All right. So where was I? There was stuff. Let's go back to what we were saying. There was stuff. I should have clicked screens. Everyone's going to, you're off center. You're off center, man. No, this is okay. This is me being in center when I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. Okay. This is when I have this side of the screen where I can put pictures as we talk. You follow? As we're talking about stuff here. All right. Going back to talking about stuff here with my Boston accent. So, yeah, this was kind of stupid. And a guy from Harvard writes an article, and it says, here's the number one phrase I've ever seen destroy. Here's a list of number one phrases I've ever seen destroy relationships, says the Harvard psychologist of 20 years. Now, I'm not sure how many of us as men need a Harvard psychologist to tell us what phrases damage a marriage. Maybe we did. Maybe we need a guy like that. Maybe that's what the world needs, is some guy who's been there coming around saying, I've had 20 years in Harvard, and what I've learned is here's what you don't say, because I've read this list. I could have told you this list for 20 years of being a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. I didn't need to go to Harvard. I didn't need a PhD. I could have told you this. So thanks, Mr. Harvard. But if this is all you've got for 20 years in Harvard, this is the best advice you've got, you've wasted your entire life. Here's some phrases, and I'm going to quote the guy from Harvard. In case you're out there wondering, men, write these things down as phrases you probably shouldn't say. From Harvard. Now, remember, this is not something from the common folk. No. You wouldn't have to, jabronis like you and me, we wouldn't say these things, wouldn't even know these things. These are Harvard marriage problems. Harvard words, okay? Well, number one, you've ruined my life. Well, got to tell you the truth. I think anybody from a castle to a trailer park has used that one in their marriage before. You're a nuisance. Well, they don't say nuisance anymore, but that's a word. I don't care about what you think or what you feel. Yeah? Probably wouldn't say that either. In fact, that's probably ended more than one of my relationships. Here's another one in the middle of an argument you don't want to say to your wife that kind of damages the relationship. In the middle of the argument, don't say, you know what? You're not even worth my time. That's a phrase he wrote down. Here's another good one. Now, see, this could go for women because if this is a phrase you're not supposed to use, I've got Gen X mom. I've got her by the balls, metaphorically, because you owe me. I've put up with you for years. Ooh. Yeah, not an untrue statement in my case. Here's another great one. Make sure you express your love for your spouse by saying, if we didn't have kids, I would have left you by now. Wow. You're really just saying I'm sticking around for the kids. I'm not sticking around for you. Oh, and the number one phrase, if you go all from this top 20, and I skipped over some, is I don't want, what did it say? I want to make sure I caught that right. Oh, that was it. He said, no one else would want you. No one else would want you. I made that mistake during an argument one time many, many years ago, where I said to a particular woman that I was in a relationship with, I won't tell you how long ago or what woman, but I very clearly said, no one would want you anyway. No one's going to want you but me. She went out and proved me wrong, and apparently several of my friends wanted her. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I learned that lesson the hard way. Be careful what you say. It may come back to bite you in the ass. Now, we have some stuff to talk about here. You know how we're always tying together things with millennials and Generation Z. So one of these online magazines had some brilliant article written by Generation Z. I looked the guy up to make sure what age he was, and he's a pup. He's a kid. And then I found the editor. You know how proudly they put on these online magazines who writes their stories, what the name of their place is, who's the editor that allows these things to come out to us. So the only thing we need to remember is that the writer of this article, this genius, was Generation Z, and his counterpart, his editor, who approved all of this, is a millennial. All right? I'm not going to go paragraph by paragraph, but I'm going to give you the highlights and what Generation X thinks of their article. Shall we? I'd love to. So this article starts out in the magazine, The Hidden Meanings Behind Common Dog Behaviors. Yeah, the hidden meanings. And believe me, when I tell you, I'm giving you the headlines, and they support the headline with 2 or 3 paragraphs of just pure genius, which I won't bore you with any of it. You're going to catch on as we go here, all right? Let's start with the first one. Dogs bark in different ways to signal different things. All right. Article's not starting out too bad for me. I would agree with that. Any of you who have had dogs and you're really attentive to your dog, you love your dog, you know by their bark kind of what's going on, do you not? I mean, we do around here. We have 3 dogs in the yard, and we can tell when they're just being annoying, when they're fucking with each other, when one of them's chasing something. We can also tell when someone's coming over the fence. Yeah, our German Shepherd gets her big girl voice on, and I grab a pistol and run outside because something's going on. She gets her big girl voice on, and you know. And I think that's fair to say. We know when a dog barks when they want to go outside. We know when they bark when they want to come in. All right, so I'll go along with that one. This one just kind of gets a C- because I think every dog owner knows this, and we think we'd all agree. Not much question right there. All right. Let's move on to sunny point number 2 in the article. Ready? If your dog stretches, they might actually be telling you they love you. What? What the fuck are you talking about? If your dog stretches, they might be telling you, no, my dog stretches when it gets up. It's not telling me it loves me. It's telling me, all right, I'm up. Just give me a second. Let me stretch out here. Okay, open the door. I got to go take a piss. That's what my dog's telling me. That's what every one of my dogs has told me. That's the last 13 dogs I've ever owned have been the same way. They don't stretch across the room after they wake up and say, hey, did you see me stretch over there? Yeah, I was just telling you I love you. Did you notice in the manner in which I was stretching? Unless they're talking about a dog stretching seductively. And that's a different kind of love. And I don't want to get into that with Generation Z and what they're thinking. Around here at Gen X Talks, we kind of have a don't ask, don't tell policy. So if that's the road you guys are going down, you just keep that shit to yourself. Otherwise, dog stretching, do not say they're loving you. That's not what they mean. Oh, my God. All right. Here's another brilliant one. Same guy. Yawning can symbolize trust, but it also may suggest anxiety. Or... now I'm going out on a limb here. Or it means they're tired. I know. I don't have a PhD from Harvard. I can't write articles about what not to say in your marriage, and I probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with dogs. Yawning can symbolize trust. Yawning is pretty much an involuntary action. There's times you don't want to yawn. You're trying to hold it back. So you're not doing it as an expression of trust. In fact, if anything, you're going, oh shit, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to, fuck, I yawned. And then someone else yawns. And dogs are the same way. It's not, that's just like, let me stretch, let me yawn. That means I love you and I trust you. Double whammy from a dog. You're full of shit. But it also may suggest anxiety. Yawning may mean anxiety. Yawning may mean, you know what? When I've had anxiety. When I get anxiety, I would love to yawn because that means I'm close to going to sleep. I would love to sleep right through that anxiety. I don't know where the fuck this guy got his research. I know he probably sat down and spoke to 100 dogs and wrote down their responses, but this guy's full of shit. So is his dumbass millennial boss for letting this even hit the papers. All right, here's another one. Chasing their tail might be playful, but it can also be a sign of a health problem. I'm not sure about that because when my dogs are sick and they're not healthy, they're kind of lethargic. They lay around. I don't know what health problem you're talking about. If chasing your tail is a health problem, you're going to have to explain it to me. The only thing I could even kind of relate to that about being unhealthy, where there's a health problem and you may end up in the hospital chasing the tail. The only thing that even comes to mind is years ago, Gen X mom said to me, if I don't stop chasing tail, I was going to end up in the hospital. That's about as close as I can get. Otherwise, this is a bridge too far. I just can't get there from here. All right, moving on. Mainly because I have to. Come on, I said that with a straight face. Somebody had to be spilling their drink a little bit with that. Come on. All right, here's another one for you. Now, this one's brilliant. A dog's panting is likely a sign they are trying to cool down. Now, it may not be. There's many other things it could be. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of probabilities, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. I think you guys should be aware a dog's panting is likely a sign they're trying to cool down. Well, no shit, Sherlock. No fucking kidding me, really? No. A dog panting is trying to cool off? I think you're playing against the odds there, buddy. I don't think they know what the fuck you're talking about. Way to go. You guys caught on. This article was written by Captain Obvious. Yeah, it was. It is a pseudonym, but that's what we call him. Now, this one's good. Dogs tilt their head to the side to pinpoint what you're saying. To pinpoint what you're saying? To pinpoint. Now, when I do that, if I get that dumb dog look, my wife's talking, I go, what? I give the old Forrest Gump. It's because I don't understand what's going on. I'm not trying to pinpoint exact points in her conversation. Now, maybe this dog is. Maybe this dog was like, wait a second, I think you're speaking in a conundrum right now. You're using a logical fallacy in your argument, and I think you're speaking in a double entendre. Can you say that again? That could be what's going through the dog's mind. But chances are the dog is just looking at you like I do going, how would you like me to respond? I didn't hear any common words in there like, sit or stay or go or food or cookie. So I'm a little lost. See the thing right here? This is a man lost talking to his wife. That's a dog lost talking to his. Now, maybe that guy did teach his dog English and the dog is trying to pinpoint specific parts of the conversation. I could be completely wrong. Stranger things have happened outside of a Circle K with telephone booths appearing and disappearing. I just don't think it's this particular case. But what do I know? Just a dumb jabroni in the middle of the desert. All right. Here's another one. Chewing on the furniture can be a sign of boredom. Well, yeah, if you leave a dog alone for 6 hours a day and he's a puppy, he might chew some shit. If he's got ADD, he may chew some shit. If you fed him a bunch of sugar, he may chew some shit. He may just chew shit because he's a puppy. There is the outside chance that he just doesn't like furniture from IKEA and he's got something against the Swiss. I don't know. But just to say he's bored can be a sign. That's like, again, thank you, Captain Obvious. We know puppies that are bored. You got to have attention with the puppies. Here's a ball, here's a toy, here's a chew. Run them ragged, and they'll take a nap. Again, I'm just saying from experience. When my wife wants me to stop chewing on stuff, she runs me ragged, and I fall right asleep. Same thing. All right, one more from the dogs. When a dog tucks their tail, it's generally a sign of something negative. Well, if you're not painting with a broad brush with this one, I don't know what you are. When a dog tucks their tail, is generally a sign of something negative. No, when their dog tucks their tail, they're either scared something's going to happen or they're embarrassed because you caught them doing something. Because my dog looks at me and goes, oh, shit. I have to look around like my dog's a 2-year-old little boy. All right, what did you do? I can see it written on your face. You just fucked up something. All right, where's the cat? Where's the goddamn cat? Come on, give it up. Where's the cat? Because my dog will put his tail between his legs when he's done something wrong. Now, the other time is when they're afraid. Yes, they can do it as they're afraid. But something negative? Not even sure what you mean by that. Yeah, fucking kids these days. Do you see what I deal with? Do you see what happens when we go through this stuff with when we let Gen Z interpret the world around them? They have the balls to write it down like people need to hear what they're saying. And then some dumb millennial goes, "Yeah, let's run with that. Put that out there. We got people paying for this online magazine. These are the gripping stories they want to hear." Yeah, we all want to pay money to know you're full of shit. That's always what happens. All right, hydration complete. Let's go back between the sheets. For those of you just joining the program, to my left, to your right is Sheets, Google Docs. There's people between the sheets that are writing down what you're saying. If I'm telling a story up here, I can't read what's going on over there, the comment section. All right, hydrate. I did. The Polish Redneck, remember, for 2 months. Hey, General, when you and Gen X Mom started up your YouTube, Facebook, how much did your kid motivate you to do so? He was all the motivation because I told him no for months and months and months and months. Stuart Bailey, remember, for 2 months, try to get a server instead. You can have the apps saved to the server instead of using all your memory on your computer. I don't know what that means. I don't know what getting your own server means for that. That sounds great, Stuart, but I wouldn't even know where to begin. Terry King, Facebook Blue, TK here. First-time listener, in case it hasn't been mentioned, don't stop under an acorn tree if you ever get pulled over. Yeah. Oh, Doyle rules. Deanna the Moonwraith, remember, for 1 year, this list has me dead. Harvard had to come up with this. Yes, that was marriage tips from Harvard. The guy had to go to school to get his PhD. He had to spend 20 years at Harvard, and his culmination was this list for all of us. Thank God he wrote that down, Deanna. Now you can pass it along to your guy and go, don't say this shit to me, ever. And if he questions you, tell him it's from Harvard. All right. Taz, remember, for 6 months, the iMac from 3 years ago would have an Intel 5 or 7 in it. They also came up with their own Apple Fusion SSD drive in it. You can have an Apple shop replace the drive with the larger SSD in it. They've said they won't. I asked. So that's true, but it ain't through them. The shoeless one, $5. I could eat IKEA tacos. Just saying. So you love IKEA furniture. So if the furniture was made into the shape of tacos, you did it. Shoeless one's got some issues, man. He's not all there. I know the man. Mrs. Fort Wyden gifted another 5 Gen X Talks memberships to Elizabeth Rojas, Luke Leiderbach, Go Ho Shane, Scratchmaster, and Jonathan Waters. John Waters. So you guys can all take a peek behind the curtain. And I'm going to get back to the really important stuff that I had to say because I have a lot of it. I'm not done yet. Don't go anywhere, goddammit. All right. Yeah, this is not going to make you happy. This article is not going to make you happy. All of a sudden, you're going to leave the live stream right now, and you're going to walk over, and you're going to lock your front door. True story. How do I know you're going to do that? Because that's what I did when I read the story. Now, I'm just going to paraphrase it for you, because that's what's important here. And here it is. Parents warn nation after child removed from improper pronoun usage. This is in the state of Indiana. A child living at home, and they were a Catholic home, and the child said, "You will address me by my preferred pronoun." And the parents went, "Fuck you." No, they're Catholic. They said, "No, we're not. And we named you, and you were going to call you by the gender you are." And the child said, "No, I have pronouns, and you will address." This became a big fight. They took it to school. The teacher turned the parents in. Social services got involved, and they removed the children from the home. The state removed the children from the home because the parents were abusing the child by not using the child's preferred pronouns. It probably didn't help when the father was in court looking at the child across the courtroom, go, "Think you're abused now? Wait till I get your punk ass back home, bitch." Drag me into court, making me use pronouns. Fuck you. Those are my pronouns. Try me now, big boy. I'm not sure if he said that. I'm just kidding, but that's the enragement that I feel. They did get the children back, it looks like in the article, or they were getting them back, and they're suing the state for wrongfully removing their children from the home. But I don't know how far that's going to go. Unless it goes to the Supreme Court, they would win. But in the federal court district they're in, probably not. Probably going to be cited too. So the parents are going on social media. They're going on the news, and they're just letting everybody know, if it can happen to us, and we're just a regular old family, regular middle-class family, if it can happen to us, it can happen to you. Yeah, stuff like that bothers the shit out of me. I told you weren't going to be happy. I didn't sugarcoat this. I didn't say, "Oh, don't worry, there's two sides to every story. Let's listen to the whole thing and see how this comes out." No. I told you were going to go lock your door. Was I wrong? How many of you just got back and listened to the rest of the story now because you walked your big lazy ass across the room and locked the door and looked out the front window? Yeah, I did too. Just letting you know. All right, we'll lighten the mood a little bit. Two Bears Car Show is coming up March 9th. I swear, with all the time and money and advertising that we have put into this, if he picks another rainy day because he wants to have his car show in March, he can't do it in the summertime like everybody else does their car shows. I'm out. Friendship over. We have to fire him from staff, and friendship's over. I'm going to take him off my Christmas card list, period. All right. But if it does work out, the Southern California, Route 66 car show, Two Bear puts one on at his big car dealership every year. I think they've done 4. We've been part of 3 of them now, or maybe they've done 5 and we've been part of 3. But it's a lot of fun. This one's going to be bigger and better, weather permitting, than any other year by far. They've given Two Bear full reign on how he wants to develop this, and he's got it down. So these are the shirts. So you can go to the merchandise site and buy these shirts because, once again, like the deck of cards, once they're gone, they're gone. If you can't attend this in Southern California, at least you can get a shirt. You understand? And I'm stealing the shirt money. You'll still get your shirt, but I'm stealing the shirt money to buy a computer. So go buy a shirt so I can buy a computer. But there's 2 links they can give you. Staff will give you a link to the shirt, but they can also link you to the car show page, because that's important. Because the car show page, and there's what the bigger version of the shirt looks like, pulled back a little bit. That shows the car show has directions on how to get there, when it is. There's a local hotel with a discount code, like 20% off if you want to go stay at this hotel. We're all going to be staying at this hotel Friday night and Saturday night. We're not going home after the car show. If you guys are there that night or the night before, you can go over there and have some drinks. They got some food in the lounge, and we can hang out for a little bit too. That's a lot of fun. So that's one of the things we're intending on. Also, a special guest who has nothing to do with classic cars. Yeah, it would have been nice to get one of the Dukes of Hazzard or David Hasselhoff from Knight Rider, maybe one of the A-Team in their black van, Batman for his Batmobile, something car-related. But we went the other direction. We went completely the other direction. In fact, the only connection to a car show that this particular celebrity has is he's driven one. And that counts. So he's in. How many of you remember What's Happening? The show ran from 1973 to 76. Then in the late 70s, they came out with What's Happening Now, which ran another 3 seasons. And I kind of darkened out the people. If you guys remember the cast, Haywood Nelson was that guy. He's going to be there. Haywood Nelson's going to be at the car show. I got his number. He's got mine. We talked a little bit. He's going to come up. He's going to spend the night in the hotel. He might hang out with us in the lounge. And then the next day, he's going to spend half the day hanging out with the rest of us. I'm going to be selfish. We're going to make up a little banner that has his picture on so people remember, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. But you got to think, this is something that only old people would remember. And who owns most of the classic cars? Old people. Who comes to most of the old classic car shows? Old people. See, I'm pointing right here. Old guys. So there's a good chance people are going to remember this guy and at least say hello to him. And if they don't, I'm going to be super selfish. I'm going to interview him. What was it like back in Hollywood? Because he worked from 71 to 81 intensely. He had a lot of roles he was in, a lot of guest spots he was doing. So that for me is going to be a little peek inside the looking glass. I want to find out what's going on, what went on back there in the 70s and early 80s back in Hollywood. And what a better way to do it than grab one of these guys who lived through it. And he's still in the business. He's still in the industry. He just does writing, producing. He does some behind the scenes stuff. He even does lighting configurations with a company. So he's still in the racket, but it's going to be great to talk to him. So if you guys want to see him, he's going to be down there. All right. What else do we have here? Christine Dvorak, $200 was the first one. Not enough. LOL. Sweetheart, yes, it was. I'm stealing every dollar we get right now. I'm stealing it to go into that fund. Honestly, if I had to guess, I think we're going to be with the computer that Trippy wants to build and the Mac monitor I'd want to buy. We're probably going to be, to be fair, around $3,500, maybe a little more. And I'm not saying I don't have any money to contribute to that. I do. I have a chunk of that, but not nearly enough. So you just put in 5, Christina. I got a chunk there. We're not even halfway. But we're getting there. The point is when you guys buy the deck of cards, I'm stealing the money. If you buy a T-shirt, I'm taking that too. $2 whore tonight, got it. Whiskey fund for me, taking it. Everything is the money that was going towards the studio. No. Because if I don't get the computer problem fixed, which we lost Rumble tonight and we lost one of the Facebook pages because the fucking thing's too damn slow and it logged out, we don't have a show anyway. Because if we can't get the computer going, what am I going to do? Sit here and walk around with my cell phone like a 13-year-old girl on TikTok and give you guys a program? I would. Don't think I wouldn't. It just won't be quite the same. And I want to tell you that the sad truth is there's some things that we could be doing a little bit better about that. Like when I say, just give you an example, the Sun Valley Fox, he's retired now. You know, he's a multi-gazillionaire. He probably invested in Microsoft and Apple back when they were infant companies. He's probably got as much money as Elon Musk. He's just sitting on it, on a big pile of money. When you go across the desert in Nevada and you think there's a house on a hill, no. The reason that hill's not on a map is because it's not a hill. It's not dirt. It's a big pile of money. He built his house right on the top of it. So he calls today. He's like, hey, those deck of cards are great. You know, and you think the next words out of his mouth would be, well, I'd like to buy a deck of cards. But the cheap bastard, you know what he did? He calls me up and says, hey, so how much if I just want to buy my card, the Sun Valley Fox card? Can I, how much for just one card? Oh, I tell you, you know, when we see that guy next, we're all going to have to give him the world's biggest wedgie, every damn one of us. Anyway, I'm not done yet. I had stuff to say. I came here to talk, baby. Dum. So I want to finish with something with you guys because we're running out of time right now, and I got to go check on my wife. But I want to give you guys something that hit me kind of hard and kind of sideways. All right, let me read between the sheets first here. Let me see. Hang on. And I can't tell if anybody has sent any donations on PayPal tonight. I can't. My wife reads those, and she's sick, and she's in bed. She may be asleep. So if someone put in there $180,000 in PayPal, I thank you. But I can't mention your name because I don't know who you are. But if anything came through on PayPal, I promise you I will bring it up next time. Or if sometimes you leave instructions, don't say this out loud, then I won't. No. But if you do, then next time we get on the air, I promise you I'll say something towards the computer fund. PayPal, the link's at the top. All right. Damian Ranson, Facebook, Blue Genix is the same all over the world. Mate, love it. Appreciate that. It's nice to know that there's some commonality on every continent and every language. It really does help. Mrs. Fort Watton gifted another 5 Gen X Talks memberships. Patrick Roberts, Smithy UK, Brian Shell, Derek, and William Gunn. You guys can all go to the community section after the show and look behind the curtain and see all the stuff that's normally not out there for anybody but you guys. Yeah, we have 3 years of stuff that is only out there for you guys, for subscribers, for members. There's a lot of stuff we don't make public. 3 years of it, of non-public stuff. If you're a member, you get to see. Facebook, you go to that page called the General's Lunchbox. Bring a sandwich. You're going to be scrolling back for a long time. 3 years of stuff in there. You can get really caught up on what's been going on with us. All right. So the last thing I want to bring up, and I even titled it on my category here in Streamlabs, Finish with This. Because it was just a passing thing I was scrolling through, and it really caught me off guard. It's kind of like when I watched Forrest Gump. Everybody watched Forrest Gump. They loved Forrest Gump. It was a great movie, great story, and nobody I've ever run into came away from the movie Forrest Gump the same way I did. I remember coming out of the theater and someone saying, "What'd you think of the movie?" And the first words out of my mouth were, "Why is he a better person than me?" And he was. Why is he less? Forrest Gump was less devious. He was more honest. He was a better friend. He was a better person, and he had no brains whatsoever. You know, the story, as the story goes, by comparison. So here I am, smarter than him, and I'm a worse person. And I hated how I felt because the movie made me feel like less. It made me feel less of like, how is he better than me? And I remember for months and months I wrestled with trying to be a better person because it was so upsetting that someone who just could grasp so little of the world around him did such a better job at it than I did. God, and now I'm getting all worked up again. But this thing that I'm going to share with you, it's kind of stupid, it's kind of silly, but it grabbed me the same way. So this is for you guys because I've already taken it to heart for me. Be who you needed when you were younger. Now, that can mean probably for your children, for your nieces and nephews, or friends of people that be who, because we all know when we were younger, we can all think about being a child or a teenager. We can all think about a moment like, God, I really could have used a friend to just listen. I needed that friend. I just needed someone to listen back then. Or I just needed someone to tell me it was going to be okay. Or I just needed someone to guide me through this thing. There's points in our life, especially when we're younger, that we can look back now and go, God, you know what I needed back then was this in my life. I had a bunch of that and it was wrong. I needed a little bit of this. Be that for someone else. Try to think of what you needed, because chances are you're hanging around people, or you've brought up children or nieces and nephews that are similar to you. That's kind of what we do. We just, our families are all kind of similar. We raise them a certain way. They all act like you and the wife, or they act like you and the husband. I mean, you get it. They're very similar. So it's not too much of a stretch to think that someone around you may need something very similar that you needed. Just be who you needed when you were younger. Be who you needed, because you missed it. Somebody didn't take time to be that thing for you, to guide or to say or to do, and you can look back and go, God, I just needed that back then and I missed it. Don't let somebody else miss it. There might be somebody around you right now that you can help by just being what you needed. That hit me like a ton of bricks. It really did. There's another one in here. Scott Royson gifted another 5 memberships. Me, Brett, Lamont, No, The White Picket Fence, and Sarah. If you guys are adding more stuff after now, I'm probably not going to read it till the next time we meet. Listen, I got to go, but I wanted to leave you guys with that. It's not too much of a stretch for you to look around you and find someone that might need something that you have to offer. And don't have to be patronizing. Don't come in here like you're God imparting your wisdom. Maybe it takes a little bit of listening to hear what situation they're in and go, I've been in that situation. Let me give you here's some stuff that happened to me. I think if we all did that to just one person, I think it would be a domino effect. I think then they would do it to one person. I think that's how things like this start. I think that's how change gets done. And I think the person who to put that picture on the internet did it for me, because I absolutely know that I could probably give to something that I was lacking or missing. I could probably find someone within arm's reach. I'd probably throw a stick out my window and hit 3 people that I know that I could help just by listening. Maybe it's just that. Listen, I got to go. I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. I don't know where you're at around the planet. I know some of you from Australia, the different time zones, and we get different time zones during the World Show than the Bottom of the Glass Nation show. I couldn't drink tonight because I got to go take care of my wife. Got to be sober for that. You guys understand how that goes. Wherever you're listening from, wherever you're at around the planet, thank you. If you had an hour to waste, I'm glad you chose to waste it here at Gen X Talks. It really means a lot to all of us. So from the kid, Gen X mom, myself, and all the staff, I'm going to bid you adieu. Wherever you're listening from around the world, remember 2 things. Wherever you go, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. That's right. I said it.